So this video is held near and dear to my heart because this is one of the original strategies we built in our agency. It is actually the foundation of how we actually build out Google Ads and the strategies behind Google Ads. So I'm excited to get into this with you guys. What we do is we call it the pyramid of converting traffic. The premise of this is the types of traffic you want to go after in order when you scale an account. What you want to go after first, once you maximize first, what's second, third, and fourth, and so on. So let's jump right in. As you can see at this little graph, the general idea of it's relatively self-explanatory. And basically, first, we're always going after low-hanging fruit. We've talked about this a lot in different videos that we have. Low-hanging fruit is going to be the traffic that's most likely to convert. Always want to maximize the traffic that's most likely to convert first, because if you go and do, like, for example, next, expanding your search strategy, medium risk, scalable campaigns, each time you go up that pyramid, the traffic's gonna be broader and it's gonna be harder to convert that. So why would you want to jump ahead to traffic that's harder to convert while you still have traffic that can't convert? And that's kind of the premise of what the strategy is about. So moving on, the background of the strategy is really just seeing a lot of campaigns and accounts in the past, especially when we audit competitor campaigns, where people try to target what looks like more exciting traffic first. And when you try to do that, especially when it's broader traffic channels, there's a lot more traffic, but it's not as high as intent. You just burn the money. You have low ROI. It's not going to make you money back. You want to build the foundation of the account first, and then you can scale into that and test into that. But you never want to do it upside down, or else you're going to just waste money. You're going to burn a client account. You're going to burn your own account. It's always best to spend your money in a smarter manner. So the reason it works is pretty close to what I just explained. We're always trying to mitigate risk in paid advertising. In this realm, it's really maximizing the efficiency of what you're targeting first. And as we know with paid advertising, your money can go quick. It can go in days if you have your budget set up in the way where it can pull from it that way. So when it comes to what you want to go after first, it's always going to be the logic of what's going to convert at the highest rate, and then you expand from there. The keyword strategy and the process, this will kind of tie into the next part of this video, which is really explaining the different phases. So the first phase, like we talked about, is the low-hanging fruit campaigns. This is generally going to be targeting on, your branded. We don't count this too much in like scaling accounts, right? Because branded is kind of cherry picking, but this is going to be something that's defined in that category. So you're going to have branded campaigns. You're going to have campaigns that are going after very high intent, longer tail type keywords. People that might be searching an actual phrase around a product or service instead of just like the product industry. So like, for example, if it's Motrin, right, or like Tylenol, instead of someone searching, I have a headache, or, what do I do for a headache? It's somebody searching, I want 200 milligrams Tylenol, where do I buy it? And that's the difference there. From there, expanding your search strategy, there's going to be different layers of search. We'll have a video going over this as well, really defining what are the different levels of intent. But when it comes to this, there's going to be super high intent, there's going to be broad, and there's going to be different levels in between. And that's where we'll really differentiate how you step through that staircase. When you get out of the longer phrase type keywords, then it might just be, where's the best place to buy headache medicine? There's a little bit different meaning of intent there, but it's not as extreme as somebody knowing exactly what they need. All they need to do is find the place to buy it from. So that's what we talk about when we're talking about like expanding the search strategy. It's going through those layers of intent until you get to the point where they're in the discovery phase. They don't know exactly what they want yet, but you have the ability to convince them what to buy based off of your content. Next is going to be medium risk scalable campaigns. So when it comes to medium risk scalable campaigns, these are campaigns that are kind of right in between. They're not super, super broad high risk, but they're also not as in high intent as some of these search categories that we might go after. And I'll scroll down so we can also see on the screen what we mean by this, but let's go to phase 3 real quick. So on the medium risk campaigns, we're really going after things that is allowing the algorithm to take charge. So on the performance max side, you have less control there, but we see performance max scale out very heavily in a lot of our client accounts. In some cases, it could be spending 50% of the budget, and it could be doing it really efficiently. It just depends on the types of products you have. So the reason we call this, phase 3 is because you have less control. You're letting the algorithm have a little bit more weight as far as where it's going to show the ads, what it's going to go after. But if you have a really great category of products or a great store, great service, it's going to do really well for you. You just have to make sure to play into the game that you need to be played into. Next is going to be high risk campaigns. So high risk, high reward, a lot of traffic to scale into, but very hard to convert that traffic. A lot of the time that's going to be YouTube for most people. YouTube is one of the largest, I believe the second largest search engine in the world. Most people spend their time watching it for entertainment, or it could be education. Because of that, you play into those two factors if you're going to put content out. But It's a very, very large platform, which means there's a lot of traffic to scale into, but it's also very hard to convert, because people on YouTube, they're usually invested in longer videos. They don't want to get distracted like Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you're scrolling, you see something catchy, maybe it's an ad, and then you go to it. On YouTube, you might be watching a 10-minute video you're invested in. You're not going to go jump to somebody's website to check out what they have to offer. You want to keep watching your videos. So you have to have really good content. You also have very good value propositions on the content and the product to get them to actually want to buy. So it is high risk, but if you can crack it, there's a lot of money to be made on YouTube. We make some pretty good numbers for some of our clients on that side of things. So that's generally going to be the general flow of how we define these different categories. Like I explained on the front end of the video, there's going to be a sequence of what you want to go after first. The main idea of the sequence is just going to be most likely to succeed, most likely to convert traffic. And then you go to the opposite end of the scope, which is higher risk, harder to convert traffic, but a lot broader, and there's a lot more for it. And there's a lot of things in between there. So, long story short, make sure to play into this, because you always want to spend your money wisest. In this case, it's going to be in the sequence of logic of how things are convert, and then you can scale into and test into some of the broader types of traffic. But if you'd like this SOP and you want to have the PDF version to kind of go through and read and not have to jump through at the video, just shoot us a DM on Instagram. Our Instagram's linked in the bio of the video. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave any questions in the comments and I'll get you an answer.